In the power market for Indron, we're focused specifically on transmission and distribution structures. So all those big high tension power lines you see as you drive around the country, when we refer to the power market, that's the folks we're serving, and we're trying to take care of that distribution and transmission grid. It's often referred to as the most complex machine in the world. We have about 200 investor-owned utilities that own that grid, and it's cut up between them all. They all have separate programs for how they will maintain, replace, or deal with those structures, and those are the customers that we are working with. So they've got enormous miles. You know, it's not uncommon to meet with a utility and they'll tell you they have 40,000 miles of transmission out there. Someone's got to inspect all that and understand, you know, what the condition of it is, how to take care of it for the future, because we all have kind of seen publicly what the consequences are when these structures fail. It's a big problem. Electricity is vital for society and human life, and the existing transmission structures have to remain intact for that grid to be viable. So utilities that own these massive aging infrastructures need ways to keep it usable forever, essentially indefinitely, and those are the customers we're pursuing because we have great solutions to make that happen. The state of the electrical grid right now out there is such that there is enormous amounts of funding going into these utilities, and they're all focused on the grid, but overwhelmingly they're focused on expanding it new. They have to build to new places, they have to upgrade existing structures. They are very focused on connecting to green power like solar fields and wind. That involves new transmission lines to get those things connected. So all the money and attention gets focused there, and we work very hard to remind these utilities that that only works if all those structures they have now are still there to be used. It's actually extremely vital that if we're going to connect the green generation sources and we're going to expand reliable power to everywhere in the country, not only do we have to spend and build at the speed of light, we've got to maintain what's there. And so Indron, I think, brings a really unique set of discussions and expertise to these utilities, because there's really not other voices there working with them to maintain the giant amount of infrastructure we've built in the last 100+ years, because they're all so focused on the new dollars. So it's kind of we're serving a unique niche when we focus on the existing structures and how to make those last the next 100 years. The product that we sell primarily into transmission towers is pretty unique in the sense that it's very old technology that we've modified with some newer innovations. So primarily what we're using is a linseed oil-based coating. It's that way because these towers have to be painted energized. So the guys climb up there where there's electricity humming through those lines, and we need a coating that stays wet for a very long time and can soak down into all those contaminants, and then when it dries they're locked in and we have a solid coating without a bunch of dangerous surface prep on an energized tower. So finding a way to take the old technology that takes forever to dry, like a linseed oil, and gain benefits of some of the modern additives and ease of application manufacturing that Indron has is really what we've done in that market. This product's called our EnduraGuard 9200. A successful coatings program at a power utility will allow them to maintain their entire existing grid indefinitely. It's important to remember that these are steel structures with reinforced concrete foundations. If we keep corrosion at bay, they have no design life. They can operate for hundreds of years. The enemy here is corrosion, and that's right where coatings come into play. So the idea for us is that instead of the mentality that a lot of utilities have of you buy an asset, you operate it to failure, and you replace it, if they work with Indron, we're going to change that whole equation to say once you buy a tower, it can last forever.